I haven't done an auctions in Japan video for quite a while, so that's what we're going to do today. I've got a lot to get through, so let's get on with it. Right, so the first item we're going to look at is this autographed cover, Elvis's Golden Records Volume 1. There are two signatures there. The one at the bottom looks familiar. The one at the top there, I don't know, what do you think? If you can read that, let me know. Is this autograph genuine? I don't know, but somebody paid $278 for it. There is one thing that makes me a little bit suspicious about this, and that is the cover itself. It doesn't look laminated, so if it's a UK cover, it will probably date from 1977 or later, which throws doubt on how genuine that Elvis autograph is. I guess if it's genuine, $278 is a good price. The next item is Clambake, the last pressing of Clambake on the RCA label. You can see that they made a mistake and labeled this a Dynagroove for recording. This was actually the last pressing of Clambake, and the cover was different to the original version from 1968 in that the card is very thin, it's not laminated, and it has these foldovers at the top and bottom. And you can see on the label here it's manufactured by Victor Musical Industries. This is a very rare copy of Clambake, and it's sold for $336. Around about the same time, an original copy also came up for sale, and you can see the original had a dark blue obi with the Nipper logo, and it was on Victor. Still, it was incorrectly labeled a Dynagroove recording. There's the black Victor record. This one didn't sell as well. It didn't sell for as much money as the RCA copy. $266. It's still a very hard record to find with that obi. This is an EP from 1958, and it just has the one Elvis song on it. The other three songs are by different artists. This one was actually available at a buy it now price. I didn't know about it, otherwise I might have paid $442 for it. It's a really hard EP to find. I've never actually seen one in person, and in 20 years I think I've seen about literally two or three available on auction sites. So that's not a bad price. Elvis Presley guitar, Gibson, very expensive guitar with that very distinctive pick guard, and it has Elvis's name and these two stars on the fretboard there. 55 bids, and this sold for $5,923. I'm afraid that's way too much for me, even though it came with free shipping. An original copy of Elvis is back next. This is the mono pressing with the pinkish purplish obi. 70 bids on this one, so there was a lot of interest in it, and it went for $672. Here's a promo copy of the same record, LS5198. Just over here you can see in the background there a part of the back cover. So it did come with a cover, but it didn't come with an obi. Just on the label here you can see some Japanese text. So here it tells you it's not for sale, and on the right side it reads promo. So what do you think, more or less than the copy with the obi? Well, it sold for quite a bit less, $421. This is a 4-channel stereo quadra-disc pressing from Elvis in Memphis. I can tell by the obi, the manufacturer on the obi there, this is one of the last pressings. And 41 bids on this. It's always a popular item. So the quad discs didn't sell that well. Some of them sold better than others, but from Elvis in Memphis is quite a hard title to find. This one went for $247. GI Blues Living Stereo single. There were about half a dozen singles released in stereo in the early 60s. This one got 24 bids. It's always a popular title, is this one. And in fact, all of the Living Stereo singles sell for high prices. This one went for $123. I'm going quite quickly here because there's a lot to get through, so if you want to have a good look at the pictures, just pause the video. We're staying with GI Blues, this time the LP, and this dates from 1962. It's not the original from 1960. As you can see there, the obi, and it has a crease right down the middle of it. And it's also missing the back part, so it's only half an obi. Even so, it's still sold for $225. This is the first CD version of Elvis's Gold Records Volume 5 from 1984, and this was only the second CD ever released in Japan. I was very interested in getting this, but the seller, he kept reducing it by 100 yen here and 100 yen there, and I kept holding off, and in the end somebody beat me to it, and it sold for $28, which is not bad at all. Should have bought that one, really. This one I found on a different online marketplace, and I was very upset when I saw this one had already sold. It's a 10 EP set from America, Great Country and Western Hits. I think this was released in 1956, around about that period. And it's got 40 songs, 12 artists, and you can see down here there are 4 Elvis songs on 2 different sides. This record here and this record here. You can see there's a bit of cleaning fluid left on the records, but the description says that the records are in really nice condition. So I was especially miffed when I saw that this one had already sold for $59. That's a real bargain. This one is a really rare 78, and it's rare for 2 reasons. Firstly, it still has the insert. It's Heartbreak Hotel and I Was the One. And it's the colour of the insert that really makes this a rarity. There's only one other 78 in existence, I think, which had the green insert. That was the first one. I forgot to remember to forget, and Mystery Train. Usually Heartbreak Hotel comes with a pink insert, if it comes with any insert at all. This is the standard Victor Records 78 sleeve from that period. And this is the inside of the insert. These inserts were about 7.5, 8 inches high by about 5 inches wide. And there is the back with the lyrics. $525 for this one. And again, it wouldn't have sold for such a high price without this green obi. Here's another one from round about that period, 1956, Hound Dog with I Love You Because. They actually put Don't Be Cruel on a separate release. I think they obviously saw the hit potential of the other side. The Victor sleeve here is actually the reverse side of the one we just looked at, and on the back it shows Victor record players, speakers and radios and so on. So this is the pink insert that the Heartbreak Hotel insert, Heartbreak Hotel 78 usually comes with. Different picture but same colour. There's the inside, and there is the record. This one sold for a high price as well, $300. Again, if you find these 78s without the inserts, they tend to go for a lot less. 2 copies of How Great Thou Art now. This is another rare LP, and 2 copies came up for sale around about the same time with the obi. This is the first one, which went for $207. Another seller offered it around about the same time. For some reason this one sold for a lot more, $362. This is an early single, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, but on the B-side is a track by another artist, Janice Martin, Will You, William. And the same 2 songs appeared on an EP in 1956. Both the EP and the single are very rare. This one got 37 bids, so there's quite a lot of interest in it, and it went for $348. You hardly ever see this one. This is a 1962 mono pressing of King Creole, not the original. This red obi is very, very hard to find. There are about half a dozen albums that were released with red obis that year. Very cool looking obi. Usually they were blue. 73 bids on this one, so it sold for a lot of money, $473. Japanese movie posters can sell for a lot of money, especially the 50s ones. This is for King Creole, and it went for $395. This is the original copy of Kissing Cousins with its green obi and the bonus photo, and this one fetched $170, which is not bad depending on condition. Love Me Tender poster, movie poster, 40 bids on this one, and this one went for $447. This is a Japan-only single, Lonesome Cowboy and Loving You. There were a couple of other versions of this insert, same design but with different colours. There was a blue one and also a light pink one with this same photograph at the top. If this company sleeve is the correct one, this brown colored company sleeve, then this will have sold in the early 1960s. 22 bids, this one sold for $170. Sealed CD, anyone? This one is a double feature CD, still sealed in the long box with the hype sticker. Only one bid on this, it sold for $7.40. Who'd be a CD seller in 2022? This is a rare 10-inch LP from Japan, and on one side it has the 4 songs from the movie Love Me Tender, and on the other side it has these 4 songs here. This one always attracts a lot of attention and it always sells for a high price. This one went for $562. There is a fake version of this available, so be careful if you ever see this online for a very cheap price. There is also another version with RCA records at the top there. That was a promo only item from about 20 years ago. Actually, no, it was less than that, about 12 years ago. This is a really expensive poster, Loving You. It does have 1 or 2 pinholes in it by the looks of the pictures at the bottom, but even so, it sold for a whopping $2,016. This is the Panel Deluxe set, which I've shown on my channel. This one has its gold sash in place. It's very difficult to find it with the sash still there. Usually they just got thrown away. And it basically just tells you what's on the set and how much it cost. This one sold for $171, which is a pretty good price. This is for a lot of 11 LPs, and there's only one among them which is particularly rare, and that is this one here right in the middle, the 4-channel stereo version of Promised Land, which you can see again here. This set sold for $329, and around about the same time the Promised Land album was available by itself, not in a set. This one got 24 bids and sold for $192. So in effect, the winner of the previous lot paid about $130 for the other LPs, which is not too bad also. This one was a particularly painful auction for me because I didn't notice it when it was available. This is a 2 EP promo only set, and you can see there's Elvis and the Spin Out movie poster design there, and it does have 1 or 2 Elvis songs on it. Spin Out, I think, is on there. It also has music from one of the spaghetti western movies, Clint Eastwood spaghetti western movies. I think the Monkees are on here as well. Anyway, it's a really rare EP that I've been looking for a long time. So I only discovered this one after it had sold for the unbelievable price of $1.99. Not $199, but $1.99. So somebody picked up an unbelievable bargain there. Sometimes this does happen. Another CD, another sealed CD in a long box. This one is something for everybody. This one did better than the previous one we looked at. 23 bids, it sold for $39, which seems a bit high to me for a CD. But I don't collect long box CDs, so I'm not sure. Back to Japan original LPs. This is Speedway from 1968 with its dark blue obi. 8 bids on this one. There is some writing actually on the back of the obi there. It says S43810, which is the date. So S43 is 1968. So August the 10th, 1968. It sold for $329. So as with Clambake and How Great Thou Art, you can see that the late 60s albums with obis tend to sell for a lot of money. Here's one from the earlier part of the 60s, 1963, Such a Night. Basically the Elvis Is Back album with the tracks rearranged. This one with its obis sold for $358. Here is a 8-track tape. That's the way it is. Very hard to find Japanese 8-track tapes. There is the back of the slipcase and the back of the cartridge itself. This one didn't sell for much money at all, only $18.50. Because there's just not that many people looking for them. Sticking with That's the Way It Is, this is a promo LP. You can see that the artwork and the lettering on the front there, all in red and white cover. On the back, which you can see down here, it just has the song titles. There are no photographs. It's a gatefold cover. The inside left part is blank and the right side has Japanese liner notes. And then you can see the records here, record labels in white. This one sold for $251. This was the last new LP ever released in Japan. The #1 hits, which came out in 1987. Since then, there have been a few reissues, but no more original LPs. And as I may have said in another video, the last couple of albums are quite hard to find on the orange label. It's easier to find promo copies than orange label copies. 25 bids on this one, and it sold for $44. This is the last copy of Worldwide Gold Award Hits Volume 2. At the bottom of this red obi there, you can just make out the letters RVC, which tells you the manufacturer. So this is a particularly rare copy of this album, of this box set. 35 bids, it sold for $134. Remember, these prices are actually in Japan, so unless you are able to get them from the Japanese sites directly, you would expect to pay much more to buy these from overseas. And finally, a Japan-only single, Young Dreams and Dixieland Rock. This one is not the first pressing. I can see that for a couple of reasons, because the bell mark here dates that from the 1960s, and also the brown cover is an early 60s cover, so assuming that one is correct. It's from the early 60s. 27 bids on this one. It sold for $123. So what do you think of that lot? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Cheers.